I've got my servo mounting blocks epoxied in place, and now we'll just let those dry so I can mount the servos. I've got my flap servos installed to the flat panels, and I just wanted to show you guys how I'm going to set this up. So kind of a cool little module I bought from Hobby King is this Turnigy servo speed regulator. It also can reverse the servos too. So right now you can see the servos are the same, and when I hit the flap switch, they're both moving in the same direction. That's flaps down, that's flaps up. Then I can take this and I can change the direction of the servo here. I'll try to do this at the same time I'm holding the camera. Okay, so that just reversed the direction there. You can see it popped into place. Now I'll hit the flaps again. So now they're ready for flaps. The other awesome thing about this thing is it's a speed regulator. So again, let me get my screwdriver in here. I'm going to turn the speed way down on one. I'm going to turn the speed way down on the other. Okay, so they're both in the slowest position. And I'll put the flaps on now. So that's going to give it more of a scale look when going between flaps and just regular without flaps, and yeah, it'll also make the airplane easier to fly. When I hit that flap switch, it's not going to balloon up in the air or anything like that. I'm ready to go ahead and thread the lead to the flap servo through the end of the wing, and I've tied the string on a straight line here, which makes it a lot less likely to bind going through some of the different pieces of the plane. Also took some fishing line, 10-pound fishing line, tied the extension together so it's not going anywhere. So I'll just thread it through here, and again, E-Flite makes it really simple by already having that string going through the wing out of the box. So that's really nice. And just about got it already. There we go. Simple enough. So now the servo for the flaps ready to go on. I'm going to hook up the push rod and the clevis there next. Again, thanks to the Dubro 256 spring steel quick link clevis, I'm going to make this process a lot easier. I'm just going to push my flap up here, take the clevis, attach it to the flap like so, and I'm going to push the clevis inside the wing. Then I'm going to take my push rod, which has the rubber stay for the clevis already on there, and I'm just going to push my push rod down inside into the end of the clevis, and because of the way these things thread so easily, I'm just going to get it started there and just spin it right on. So that's all ready to be adjusted and put right onto the flap servo there. So one thing that was helpful is I bound up a spare receiver and connected a ESC that I had laying around and another battery, just so I wouldn't have to try to do this process around the fuselage with that receiver down in there. It's made it a lot easier so far. So what I've got here is I've got the flap servo installed, and it's connected up to the flap with the push rod. And I don't know if this is, a backwards way of doing it or not, but I've got the control rod right here, and what I did is I just spun the control rod, and I kind of went through this process already, but I spun this to get it the right length to where my flap was going to match the other one that I have set up. And then at that point, you could just come in, attach it to the servo. I haven't put the clevis on there to hold it in place yet, but that way I just was able to make my adjustments and keep popping the panel off back and forth, just to make sure I've got everything. They're both symmetrical. They're both going down, stopping in the same place, and they're both in full flaps mode, going down and ending at the same place. So the next step is joining the wing panels together. The model comes with a primary wing joiner, and it also came with this second piece, and they're exactly the same. I'm not sure why it exactly came with two. I called customer service this morning and asked them if I should use the thicker one or both of them together. I certainly wouldn't just use the thin one. The guy on the phone, product support didn't really know. He recommended using both because they both fit snugly into the slot where the wings will be held together. So what's called for is to epoxy on the inside of the slot and epoxy all over the joiner. Slide one side in first and then slide the other wing over the top of this. It also calls for a 30-minute slow cure epoxy, so you have plenty of time to do that. So that's the step I'll go ahead and work on next. I've now got the two wings epoxied together and taped and in position, just ready to cure. A little challenging to get the epoxy down in there, but I think I got it good. One thing that kind of helped is I actually had the wing positioned vertically. Once I got the two pieces together and the epoxy all cleaned up, I set the wing vertically, standing straight up and down, and that really helped me tape the pieces. I had the tape already laid out to the side, stuck to the edge of the table here, and that really helped me align the wing just right and get the angle so you've got the right dihedral going. And then I placed the wing on 2 rolls of tape so the leads would just have space underneath, and when I set it down on the table it wouldn't bind it or anything, so get it out of position. I've let the epoxy sit overnight just to be sure it's 100% cured, and went ahead and put on the last piece of monocoat tape over the joint. I actually tried earlier, as I mentioned, to smooth out the wings and the fuselage by using hair dryer. It didn't work, but I lucked out and had a friend that had a heat gun, and really nice one too. Great heat gun, and let me borrow it, and the heat gun was just great. I tried the hair dryer on high for quite a while with no luck, and the heat gun just tightened up everything on the fuselage and the wings no problem. So that's definitely the way to go.